So the attacks in Orlando over the weekend reverberating through the world. Debate now happening. Who did it? Well, we know who did it. We know his name. But why did he do it? What was behind it? Is it Islamist terrorists doing it? Is it a single shooter who is an absolute nutter? What are the reasons behind it? And also, how are the media covering it? It's not to minimise the event, but sitting on the outside looking in, it seems to be awash with new information coming out, how it's being spoken about right now, who the finger's being pointed at.
Yeah, and also changing in perceptions. I saw Jack Tane covering, and after Sandy Hook, he was actually convinced as a journalist that this would start changes in the States and this kind of thing wouldn't happen anymore because there would be less access to guns like these. But then it just keeps happening and happening and happening. And if you're able to get armed, even though he was apparently being watched by the FBI, it will just never stop. Is it one a day so far this year in the States?
The FBI list the mass shooting as 4 or more people dying,
right.
And I believe the stat is approximately 315 mass shootings in the last 12 months. So it's 1 a day.
Yeah.
So in America at the moment there's an average of about 1 a day mass shootings. Again, not to minimise this heightened horrific event, but mass shootings, and it sounds horrible to say this, but are commonplace in America.
We have become numb to them, I think. We have, in the first instance, the shock. We want to know who did it, why. It rolls on, we find out more about it and the victims, and then it dies down in time for another one. The whole world just becomes so numb now.
I think the way the media have covered and the way American society have tried to understand it is a bit unclear about whether it's a mass shooting or if it's a terrorist attack. Now, kind of, they cross over, obviously, but a terrorist attack is thought about in the US as being some sort of radical Islamic terrorist event. And that was initially how it seemed. And I think we're moving on a bit from that now, and it's not so clear that it was necessarily an Islamic attack, because the more we find out about this person, it does seem that it has a lot more to do with gender issues, his own personal mental health issues, and it's not clear that this was in any way organised with other cells or anything else.
Is there some word that his wife was involved somehow?
That's right, and so his current wife, not his ex-wife, his current wife actually drove him around lots of different venues looking to scope where would be the best place to have this attack. I think she did try to dissuade him from carrying out.
But didn't go to the authorities, though.
And they went to Disneyland, they went to various places looking for where to carry this out. And if it had been Disneyland, I don't think we would have been talking about, it would have been a whole different configuration, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Marco Rubio, who was one of the Republican nominees for president, one of the original 17, made a comment this week where he actually said this could have happened anywhere in the world. This time it was, and the phrase he used was Orlando's turn. Like he's got to a point where, it's Orlando's turn. Oh, Orlando, no, you're busy this weekend. Oh, we'll give it to Los Angeles. It's Los Angeles. It was so minimised.
It's almost farcical.
And this is the lie I think that Americans don't understand, is that this doesn't happen anywhere in the world. And I've been thinking about this for the past few days, and I wrote this down. I just want to read what I wrote to make sure I get it right. Extreme nationalism, racism, homophobia, political ideology and or religious ideology with free access to handguns causes these issues. Because all those other things are in New Zealand, are in Australia, are in England, but what they don't have, this gentleman, Omar Martin, bought a handgun legally 2 days before. They don't have free access to handguns.
And automatic weapons that are capable of causing carnage, not just one gun.
Yeah, but until America understands that it is the free access to handguns, when I say free and easy, available easily, that's the difference which makes this not happen in any country of the world.
Yeah, I think there's a cultural issue too, just this culture of violence that we have in the States. This is something that does happen each day, not just because of the freely available weapons, because you do have other countries that have weapons around, but that there's this culture of violence, and so it's a mentality.
I would be surprised, and I don't know the stats on this, so it's a bit naive to say perhaps, but I would be surprised if there was another country, let's say another Western country, if we're comparing apples with apples, where so many people would have handguns, and if they didn't have a handgun, could probably walk down the road, if not walk down the road, drive for 5 or 10 minutes, and pick themselves up one.